I get this question all of the time. So many people ask me, Dr. Anna, I kind of understand what foods I should be eating for the Mediterranean diet, but I really struggle with portion control. How can I decide how much I need to eat? How do I know how much I should prepare for a meal and how to create a balanced meal? How do I know how much to cook for myself or my family? Believe me, we are going to dive into the answers of all of these questions. In this video, we're going to tackle the big topic of portion control. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to think about portions for you in your Mediterranean diet approach. Hey there, I'm Dr. Anna. I'm a medical doctor. I was trained in Italy. And on this channel, you are gonna learn how to master your health. So let's start digging into this topic. Part of the reason that these questions are so common is for two main reasons. The first reason is that most resources teaching the Mediterranean diet or teaching healthy eating overly emphasize focusing on just the foods. They say, eat this, not that, just stick to these things and avoid those things, and you're gonna be good to go. But the real nuance of a healthy and balanced diet comes with eating the right things in the right amounts. And deciding what the right amounts are can be really challenging. The other main reason this question is so common is because when we go out to eat in a restaurant, especially in the United States of America, the portions that we are often served are way bigger than portions used to be in the past or than portions are in other parts of the world. And this can really confuse a lot of us because it's not always clear if the amount of food we're being served at a restaurant is the healthy amount to eat. So here's how I'm going to help you tackle this challenge. We're first going to cover what you need to think about in order to decide how much you have to eat. We're going to talk about what components of nutrition you need to consider in order to create a balanced meal for yourself or your family. And then finally, we're going to cover how to decide how much food is the right amount for you. So in order to jumpstart this discussion, I want to just right off the bat explain my personal take on this entire topic of portions. In general, when I try to teach anyone about nutrition, especially teaching the Mediterranean diet, I'm going to encourage people to start practicing what is called intuitive eating. And this is all about listening to your body's cues, how to know when you're hungry, when you're full, how to determine your stress level, and the setting in which you eat to help your body and really help your brain settle into the process of eating. So that by listening to your body's cues, you're going to know when, how often, and ideally how much your body really needs to be eating, so that you don't necessarily need to rely on food trackers or apps just to decide what's healthy for you. Now, what's really going on beneath the surface of intuitive eating is about setting your hormones and your transmitters into the right state so that you're able to connect with all of these processes going on inside your body. And this can be easier said than done. And there's a lot of things that are going to get in the way from you doing intuitive eating effectively if your diet is all over the place, if you're eating when you're super stressed out, if you're eating when you're on the go, like in the car. So all of these factors are going to play into your ability to eat well. Then the other component of portion control and the size of food that you need is all about knowing when is the right and appropriate time for you to be measuring and tracking food and when it doesn't make as much sense. And in general, there are certain times when it's absolutely super effective and it's going to help you meet your goals. So if you're trying to build muscle or if you're trying to lose weight, those are times when it's really, really helpful to track your food, measure the amount that you're eating. But that's not to say that everybody needs to be doing that all the time. And then the last thing that I want to throw out there before we really dive into this is that portion sizes really need to be considered in the context of your overall diet and dietary pattern. That is, how much overall you need to be eating calorically, nutritionally, and also how often you like to eat. All of those things are going to affect the portion control that is correct for you. So just keep those things in mind as we have this discussion. Okay, let's tackle this first part. What are the factors that you need to consider in order to determine how much food is right for you? In other words, what portion you need to be eating. So I like to break this down into 3 factors. First, which I mentioned earlier, we have the overall dietary pattern. So that is going to be how many meals a day you typically like to eat. If someone is going to just eat 2 meals a day versus someone else who's going to eat 3 meals a day, that is definitely going to impact the right portion that they should be eating at each individual meal. And that just makes sense. The second factor is the overall calorie needs that you have at the place in your life that you're at. So this is going to be impacted, of course, by your biological sex, by your age, and by your activity level. So already you can see that there are several different things that are going to impact your calorie needs. And then the third factor to consider what portions are right for you is to think about what foods you actually are eating and like to eat. And now the thing is, we're not going to dive into nitty-gritty details of nutrition and biochemistry here, but what you need to appreciate is that different types of foods and different categories of nutrients, proteins versus carbohydrates versus fat, are going to have a little bit of a different impact on our body because, for example, a protein or a carbohydrate per gram of that food is just going to have 4 calories, whereas a gram of fat is going to have 9 calories. So what that tells you is there's a different caloric density of different types of foods. Practically speaking, how is that going to play out in your diet? Well, for example, if you're going to eat fattier and richer foods or fattier preparations of foods, that's going to have more calories than if you had a different style of cooking. For example, if you chose having fried fish or fried chicken as opposed to grilled or boiled, there's going to be a lot more calories in the fried than there is in the grilled or the boiled because there's more fat added in the fried. So the caloric density of the individual foods that you're eating are also going to impact the right portion of food for you. So the second thing you need to consider in order to decide the right portions for yourself is how to create a balanced meal. And we're talking about balance in terms of the nutritional balance and also the balance for you to feel good after your meals. So what is this going to break down into? I always like to describe this as the healthy trifecta. So this is this schema where you can think of these 3 factors that you always want to consider every single time you eat a meal and every time you eat in general. So whether it's for breakfast, lunch, dinner, or even just a snack, you want to make sure you have all 3 of these factors. And what are they? Fiber, healthy fat, and protein. So these 3 components together create a very balanced amount of nutrition so that you're meeting all of your bodily needs and you're going to feel really full after you have a meal. And that means you're going to be able to sustain your energy for longer after that meal to take you either till the next meal or overnight. If you had dinner, you're going to sleep and you want to wake up for breakfast the next day. So if you're creating a balanced meal for yourself, that is definitely going to impact the amount of food that your body wants to eat, because ideally this balanced nutrition is going to help regulate your hormones, regulate your neurotransmitters so that you're getting the satiety cues, meaning the cues that are telling your brain when you're full, more effectively so that you know when to stop eating and you don't really have to think about this. That's the name of the game when it comes to intuitive healthy eating, is that you know when you're done because your body is telling you that correctly. So how can you apply the healthy trifecta to eat a balanced meal for yourself? Well, it can be done in a few ways, but it doesn't need to be complicated. Let's say you wanted to create a balanced meal for yourself hitting on the healthy trifecta. Well, that's going to mean you need to have foods that are going to give you fiber, healthy fat, and protein. So let's break this down for a sample lunch. Let's say you're having a salad and you want this to be leafy greens and you're going to throw in a couple other types of vegetables. Maybe it's going to be some shredded carrot and tomato. And then let's say you have your protein of choice. Maybe it's going to be salmon. And then maybe we want to throw in something crunchy to make it kind of nice. Let's put some sunflower seeds on there. So which foods are giving us which component of the healthy trifecta? Well, we're going to get fiber from the vegetables and the seeds. We're going to get protein from the fish and the seeds, and we're going to get healthy fat from the fish and the seeds. Plus, if we're adding salad dressing, the most classic kind of a dressing according to the Mediterranean diet is going to be olive oil and some acidic component like vinegar or lemon juice. And vinegar and lemon juice have almost negligible calories, so you can really just think about this as the olive oil. Now notice something about this meal. Individual foods in and of themselves are complex. They're not just giving our body one type of nutrient at a time. What's cool is that if we're eating a whole foods diet, this is going to cover our bases with redundancy. And nature built redundancy into our food as perhaps almost a protective mechanism to make sure that we always had more than one option when it came to meeting our nutritional needs. Let's recap a second. What were the 3 main things we needed to consider in order to determine how much or what portion is right for us? We needed to think about our overall dietary pattern. We needed to think about our overall calorie needs. and we need to think about what actual foods we wanted to include in our eating. So how do we really decide exactly how much is right for us? Well, there are two ways you can go about this. In other words, there are two approaches. You can do the forwards or the backwards way. So what's the forwards way? The forwards way is where you eat food that you decide and then you measure it. You put it into a food tracker, you put it into a database online, and you determine what nutrition is inside of that meal. And then you can see it tracking you as you go, okay, I got this from my breakfast, then I ate lunch, then I got this from my lunch, then I ate dinner, then I got this from my dinner. And you can see the entire picture sort of at the end of the day. But there's another way you could approach this. You could do the measure and then eat, or the backwards approach. You could think of this like reverse engineering your diet. And some people really like to do this. They first put into a food tracker or an app their characteristics. So it's going to be their biological sex, their age, and their activity level. They first determine their overall needs in terms of calories, in terms of how many grams of protein they need, how much fiber they should have, and they work backwards and create meals based off of those numbers. So which approach should you take? Well, I always suggest people to kind of play with both methods and see which one sticks. Now, your personality might make one way or another easier or more stressful. And some people end up disliking one way just because it's too cumbersome, and the other way is a lot easier for them. You have to decide what's right for you. I'll tell you, in my family, I prefer the eat and then measure way, whereas my husband prefers the measure and then eat. For whatever reason, I get more stressed out by measuring what I want to eat and then working backwards and figuring out what I need to eat and then eating that way. Whereas my husband feels more stressed out if he eats and then measures because he feels like he's guessing while he's eating. You just have to decide which way is right for you. There is not only one correct answer here. Now, some of you might be listening to this and wondering, Dr. Anna, do I have to measure what I'm eating in order to know what the right portion is? Not necessarily. If you feel like you already have a really good grasp on listening to your body's cues for hunger and when you feel full, and you feel like you have a pretty solid basic foundation of nutrition because maybe you've been watching a lot of my YouTube videos, then you don't really have to measure in order to be healthy. If you feel like you have a grasp on which foods are giving you fiber, which foods are giving you healthy sources of fat, which foods you need to eat to have enough healthy protein in your diet, you generally are eating a variety of fruits and vegetables and other healthy fats so that you're meeting all of your vitamins and your mineral needs, then no, you don't necessarily need to be tracking all this stuff. But for some of you who really want to get a stronger grasp on your nutrition overall and a healthy diet overall, I think that measuring to some degree is actually very, very useful. And I encourage you all to try it. But no matter where you are in your journey, there is nothing as encouraging as having a general concept for what healthy meals should look like and having lots of ideas for how to eat healthfully for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And because of that, you're going to absolutely love my complete guide to the Mediterranean diet. Check out that video and I'll see you in there.